Okay, now that we checked basic concept of quadratic equation, now we're going to do a couple of examples in quadratic equations. Right, so just to briefly recap quadratic function that I mean. Quadratic function basically looks like this: f of x equal ax squared plus bx plus c form. And ABC can be any number, but we need this square term, right? We need this square term just to make sure that um, we have this first term. We need to have that a not equal to 0. Now, typical form of example would be something like this. Example, graph the function and find vertex x, y intercept and axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Okay, so let's do a couple of these kind. Let's say the first one, fx equal x squared, say -9. Okay, so since we have this x squared term, then we know this is going to be quadratic um, equation, quadratic function. So try to figure out the x and y intercept for this. So just one more thing that I also like to mention, this a, if this a is bigger than 0, which is positive number, then the graph is going to be U-shaped upward like this. If this a is less than 0, then we're going to have a U-shape downward like this. So here we have a is of 1, which is positive number, so we are expecting something like this shape. So let's find x-intercept first. X-intercept. So to figure out the x-intercept, we let fx or the y equal 0, right? We let fx or the y equal 0. So if we do that, if this equals 0, then we have something like this: x squared minus 9 equals 0. And we need to solve this. Now 9 is 3 squared, right? So we can solve this as x plus 3 and x minus 3 equals 0. So when do we have this equal to 0? When x equal -3, when x equal 3. So these two are going to be our x-intercept. Now, to find y-intercept, to find the y-intercept, what do we have to let equal to 0? Let x equal to 0, right? From this original equation. So if x equal to 0, fx or the y, well, f of 0 to be precise, f of 0 or the y is going to be, if you put 0 there, what's left behind? Minus 9, right? Minus 9. So combining these two facts, now let's say we have straight down, okay. We have y-intercept negative 9, say negative 9 right there. X-intercept is negative 3 and positive 3. So let's say this is negative 3 there, and this is positive 3 there. And it's going to pass these 2 points and this point. Now you also notice that this is right in the middle, right? Right in the middle here between negative 3 and 3. So you can see that this graph is going to be, let me retry it. It's going to be like this, right? And it's supposed to be a nice smooth curve. So where's the vertex then? So this is to x-intercept, the y-intercept. Remember the vertex from our previous video? It says negative b over 2a and f of negative b over 2a. Remember that part? That was the vertex part. So let's figure out this first. Well, in here, what's our ABC? Well, our A is 1, right? Our A is 1. Our B, we do not have the middle x term, must be 0. And our C is negative 9. So, this would be negative of B equals 0, 2 times negative 9. Right? I'm replacing the A. Well, you know what? Sorry about this. A is 1, right? A is 1. Like this. So, well, that doesn't really matter because we have 0 in the numerator. This just becomes 0. So we know that the vertex x value is going to be 0. Of course, I mean, we already know, but we're just verifying it, right? We know that's going to be the vertex because it's just right in the middle. So if I, technically speaking, if I put this 0 back in here, f of 0 is 0 minus 9, which is 9, negative 9. So it'll be negative 9, and that's going to be our vertex. So, all we need to do is just, identify this point as let me box it up again. Identify this point as vertex and also y-intercept, and these 2 points as x-intercept. Vertex and the y-intercept. So, there's only one thing that we still have an answer. That's axis of symmetry. What's axis of symmetry? Axis of symmetry is basically this line right here, right in the middle, that divide this these two graph right in the middle, so that if you fold around the axis of symmetry, this graph is going to be on top of each other. So, which referring to this line right there, right? Axis of symmetry is basically x equal minus b over 2a. That line is actually going to be the axis of symmetry. In our case, x equal, what was negative b over 2a? 0. That's going to be our axis of symmetry, right? Right in the middle. Okay. Any question? All right. Just old habit. Okay, let's try another question. So f of x equal to x squared plus 6x plus 10. Okay, fx equal x squared plus 6x plus 10. Now we need to find x-intercept, the y-intercept, vertex, and axis of symmetry. Okay. Now, so let's try to find x-intercept. So we are going to let fx equal to 0, which is x squared plus 6x plus 10 equal 0, and we need to solve this. Well, if this is factorable, we'll try to factor it first. If it's not factorable, then we have several other options. One possible option is using the formula minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. You know, for this, our a equal 1, our b equals 6, our c equal 10, right? So in order to figure out this, we just need to replace this by that. So x equal minus 6 plus minus 6 square minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a, right? So let's take a look at this inside square root part, right? I told you this is what's called a determinant. So let's simplify that on the side. So that would be negative 6 square would be 36 minus negative 4 times 10, 40. Which is what? Which is negative 4. Which is negative 4. That's a problem, right? That's a problem. Why is it a problem? Because inside square root supposed to be what? Positive number, or it could be 0, not the negative number. If it's negative number, means what? If it's negative number, that means we have no x-intercept. We have no x-intercept, right? That's what it means. Okay, let's find y-intercept. Y-intercept is easy, right? Let x equal 0. Let x equal 0. Then if you put x equal 0, f of 0 equal 10. So y-intercept is, if you put it in a point form, x0, y10. That's going to be our y-intercept point. Now find the vertex. Vertex was negative b over 2a, f of negative b over 2a, right? So let's find negative b over 2a first. negative b, and b's are 6, over 2 times 1, which is just 2. So negative 6 over 2, negative 3. That's our negative b over 2a. Now we need to find f of negative 3, right? Negative 3, this value, which is what? Well, negative 3 square plus 6 times negative 3 plus 10, right? I'm just putting negative 3 in place of x. Then this would be what? Negative 3 square, which is 9, negative 6 times negative 3, negative 18 plus 10. So it's like 19, 9 plus 10 minus 18, which is 1. So vertex is going to be negative 3 and 1. Negative 3 and 1. You know, if that's the case, what would be the axis of symmetry? Axis of symmetry, like I said before in our previous example, x would be negative b over 2a, right? This value right there. So x would be, what's our negative b over 2a? Well, negative 3. Negative 3. That's going to be our axis of symmetry. So let's try to graph this equation using this information. First of all, we know a is positive number, which means it's going to be U-shaped upward graph like that, right? And we know it doesn't have x-intercept, so if this is x-axis, it's going to be up in the air like that, right? And we have y-intercept like this, we have vertex like this. So let's start from the vertex. X equal, say, negative 1, 2, 3. Y equal 1. So start from that point. What's our y-intercept? Y-intercept is 0, 10. So let's say that's 10 here. So this is our vertex point, and it's going to pass this point, and that's the vertex, so which is the minimum point. So graph should be something like this. It's going to go, and it's going to pass that point. Let's say it's passing that point. Don't like it. Let's say just like that, right? And axis of symmetry, which is y equal negative, x equal negative 3, which is what? Which is this line right in the middle, basically, right? That's axis of symmetry line, and that's the graph of this quadratic function. Okay. All right. Now let's try one more. Okay, let's try one more example. Let's say f of x equal to negative 3x squared plus 6x plus 1. All right. So let's figure out our a, negative 3, our b, 6, c, 1. I'm talking about this A, B, C right there, right? And we try to graph it. And just by looking at this A, which is a negative number, now we know it's going to be a curve that looks like this, downward, right? Downward. And also, what can we say about y-intercept just by looking at this? Just by looking at this. Well, you know that y-intercept is going to be this because this is the point where it's going to, when x equals 0, it's going to hit this. So, x-intercept, we have to let y equal 0. So we have negative 3x squared plus 6x plus 1 equals 0. How do we solve this? Using the quadratic formula. So we are going to say x equal minus b plus minus b squared minus 4 a c over 2a, like this. So let's simplify. Let's simplify this inside square root right on the side right here. So 6 squared, 36, minus minus cancels out to be plus 12, so it becomes what? 48. So it's like square root of 48. What is square root of 48? Now, it's little unusual, unnatural to see this square root of 48 this way, but we can rewrite this square root of 48 as 16 times 3. I mean, why would I want to do that? Because I like this 16, because this 16 is what? That's 4 squared times 3. If it's a square, we can bring it outside, so it'll be 4 square root of 3, right? Because it's a square root and the square cancels out, so this 4 square and square root cancels out. In a way, you can take it outside, but this 3 still should be there, right? So we have this. So this we can simplify as negative 6 plus minus 4 square root of 3 over negative 6, like this. Now, if you put this in the calculator, then this will approximately be negative 0.15 and 2.15. One with the minus, one with the plus. This was with the minus here, and this was with the plus here. Then you get these two values, right? So we have these two x-intercept value, y-intercept was x equals 0, y equal 1. Remember that C part, right? Y equal 1. So what about the vertex? Vertex minus b over 2a, f of minus b over 2a. So minus b over 2a is what? Minus 6 over 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6 over negative 6. Cancel, cancel, cancel everything. It's going to be 1. So f of 1 is going to be negative 3 times 1 squared plus 6 times 1 plus 1. So this is negative 3 plus 6 plus 1, which is 4. So you know that this is going to be 1 and 4, the vertex. Okay. Now, combining all that, the axis of symmetry is going to be x equal 1. Right? Remember this one right here? So, if we combine all that to graph, oops, this one right there, right? So, I really don't like this line. Okay, that's a little better. X equal 1, y equal 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be the vertex point. We know that's going to be this shape. And remember here, these two are the x-intercept value. So right about here, negative 0.15. And this is 2, so a little bit over here. 2.15 is going to be our x-intercept value. So the graph is going to go down, hit that point, it's going to go down. And what was the y-intercept? Y-intercept is 0 and 1, so it's going to hit this point. Right? It's going to hit this point, then this point, and goes down like that. And of course, the axis of symmetry is right in the middle, like that. Right? So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on, including this simplifying technique and all that. Make sure that you try this many times. You know, if I might put this in the exam, right? So make sure that you know how to do these questions. Okay.